So this is going to be putting in bones and possibly inverse kinetics. It might be faster this way. So what we're going to do is, so we're in object mode. I'm going to add an armature. You can do this from here. You can do it with a single bone. And I'm going to name this bone root bone. And then I'm going to have him in front. And I'm going to make the character wire. Viewport. Okay. Or not. Okay. It's fine. Oh, okay. That's why. I was going to the wrong one. Display as wireframe. And then we'll go shadow. Okay. So in this, I'm going to now go to edit mode. And supposed to be able to, it's not this thing, is it? Yeah. Individual origins. Yeah, individual origins. And then I will rotate this flat like that. Just a heads up, if you haven't textured or added surface to your character, I would do that at some point before you do a walk cycle. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this bone real quick, and I'm going to turn off deform. I don't want deform for my root bone. Your root bone is how you're going to actually move the character. You'll see that when we get to actually doing the walk cycle. So I'm going to go shift and the letter D on the keyboard as in dog, and I'm going to hit Z on the keyboard. Or not. Okay, let's try this again. Shift, D as in dog, Z on the keyboard as in zebra, and then pulling this up about like mid-waist, so that we can create a hip bone that's going to go down, and then the other bones. And so remember, we want like the ball bounce, so we're going to extrude. Oh, let's just quickly name this one. It's not a root bone. It is the waist bone. And then I'm going to click on that one, E on the computer, Z, and extruding that down, naming that one not waist but hip. And then going back to this one, E on the keyboard, Z, going up. I'm going to, I didn't zoom out far enough, so it's okay because I can move it. So I'm going to move this on the keyboard, move this up. So it's hitting roughly the base there. And then I'm going to right click and subdivide it. And this one's going to be lower body, upper body. So we're naming our bones because you want to name them. And then I'm going to then extrude to the head. Name that head. grab the neck and then go E, and I'm going to go X. And I'm going to pull that down. If I need to, I can always pull this down a little bit and like subdivide, but I'm just going to pull it down just a little bit, not too much. So I'm going to pull this a little bit more. So I don't have hands. If I had hands, I would go and watch the other video that has hands. So notice that I am on, if I hit the negative Z, that is the Z axis. Let me, thank you. Okay. And then I'm going to subdivide that arm. And I could actually move this down. So, but like I said, if you have a hand, make sure, you go to the other video if you have a hand. And a foot would also help. We will have somewhat of a foot on this, but not fully a foot. So this is lower arm. Just a heads up, we do have to put a dot L. That's why I had the negative Y as my front. That's just something you have to think about when you are creating. So then this is going to be, I already have upper. Oh, or not. Arm, and then again, dot L. You have to have the dot L so that we can mirror this later on. Okay, I'm going to do my inverse kinetics real quick on my arm just so it gets done and there isn't a second video. To do this, I'm going to go here. I'm going to go E on the computer to extrude, and I'm going to go Y. And I'm going to pull it towards the back, okay? Just like these bones are towards the back, that's the back. So I'm going to name this one wrist dot L. And then I'm going to create my elbow again, extruding, making this one maybe a little bit bigger, and naming this one elbow dot L. Okay. So both of these bones should have deform off. That means that they won't do anything. But I'm going to click this one, go to my root bone and parent, again, Control P, offset, and then do the same thing with my wrist. Control P, and hit Shift P. I wanted Control P. I'm going to move these back because we don't need them fully connected. And then the one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to re-click this and just kind of pull it back just a little bit to help with the bending. I'm not going to do anything else but pull that back. So, clicking on the lower arm, I'm going to go into pose mode, bone constraints, and then inverse kinetics. So we need to go armature, and then we need to go wrist, armature again, and then elbow. Okay, so the reason why I did it is because there's no chain link. If I go 1 and then 2, should be good. I'm just going to leave it at 1. Maybe I'll do 2. I think I'll do that. Was my wrist supposed to be up against it? I can't remember. If it was, I can actually move it. So let me just move it forward. Yeah. Okay. So wrist doesn't get moved. Wrist stays there, but elbow can be moved. Okay. So that is essentially for the arm. You actually move everything from the wrist. So G, and if I go Z, see, I can move that. That's how you get inverse kinetics for your arm. So if I'm going to quickly double check it. So if I move it down and then go to object mode, no? Oh, because I haven't, okay. I haven't connected it to the object. I just realized that right now. So it's fine for right now. It's okay. Okay. So let's go to create our leg bone. I am going to go from the hip bone. Oh, I have to go back into edit mode. And then E, Z, pull that down. And then Alt, ALT, and then P is to disconnect the bone so we can move it over here. And then we need to subdivide it just like we did the other ones. And this one's going to be lower leg. Oh, I forgot to put the L. So I need to put the L on this one. There we go. Okay. I am going to put a small foot at the base of this. So E, and then I want Y. So I'm putting a small foot, not a big one, just something there to create certain aspects for the walk cycle. So now we're going to do our inverse kinetics. So I need to create a couple bones. Let's see. So I'm going to go right here. I'm going to E for extrude, Y, pull this into the back. This is going to be my ankle. Again, .L, and I didn't name my foot, so I'm going to do that. But I'm going to turn off real quick deform before I go back to my foot and name this foot .L. Okay, now that I have my ankle, so I'm going back to my ankle, I'm going to shift D and put it right here at the back side of my foot. So if I hit, 3 on the, okay, so I can move this up a little bit. Okay, so I need to move my whole foot, essentially, at this point. Okay. And that's fine if my foot is angled a little bit. It's not a big deal. But my ankle, I do want that moved. Okay. So then this is the heel. The heel of the foot. Oops. And then I'm going to go Shift D again. And move that on the y-axis. Oh, come on. Oh, I didn't even notice I had done that. Okay. Okay. Whoops. Shift D. And then move that here at the front of my foot for the what's called the ball of the foot. On the other one, if you have feet, you would have your foot and then your toes, and this would sit right underneath your toes. Or right underneath this section where the toes would come out. I'm going to name that ball. Oops. Okay. And then last bone I need to create is my knee. So I'm going to go extrude Y. I'm going to pull it back this way. Again, deform and then I'm going to push it. Whoops. Control Z. Alt P to disconnect it. Right? Oh, no. I'm going to not do that. But I'm going to double check to make sure deform is off. On those ones, yep, deform's off. Okay. So I'm going to go and start with my heel, parent it to ball. And then I'm going to go ankle to heel, parent that. And then my ball gets parented to the root bone. And then that's what it was. My knee has to be parented to my root bone as well. And now I can pull, now I can pull my knee away and push it forward. But one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to push this knee a little bit forward just to kind of help give it a section to move. I am going to pull this up a little bit to kind of get it more into that like hip area. To make this a little bit bigger. There we go. Okay. So when you move we have to add the inverse now. So I go to the lower leg like I did with my arm and go into pose mode and click on the bone constraint properties, inverse kinetics. So this time we're going to go armature, ankle. If you can't find it, you can write it. Armature again. And this one's going to be the knee. Did I not name knee? Oh, I didn't name the knee. Okay. Let me quickly name the knee. That was my bad. See, I can make mistakes just like everybody else. So if I go back, click on that one, now I should be able to find the knee. Okay. Again, it did the same thing. So we just need to add the chain 2. And so that is all the inverse kinetic stuff. So now if we go to, I don't think edit mode, I think I want object mode. So I'm going to click on the character, and then shift click on the bones, control P, automatic weights. So it did dysmorph everything. That does happen a lot. And we just kind of have to work with it. So now what we're going to do is click on the bones, go to edit mode, and then armature, and then right here at symmetrize, so like giving it symmetry. No? Okay, that was not supposed to happen. It was supposed to be all of it. So that could have been my fault. Object mode. Okay. Mode, control A, or shift A. Control Z. I want all the bones. Shift A. No. Control Z. A on the keyboard. A, just straight A. Just straight A will highlight everything. Then you go into symmetrize, and now it's on that side. So then when we go into edit mode, you can see how it has moved stuff. Let's see. Does that have the inverse kinetic property? Oh, I have to go to pose mode, sorry. Yeah. So what we can do is just move it as best as we can. to get things to line up. So I'm just trying to get things to move. Maybe I have to go back. I have to go into edit mode to get the bones to shift a little bit. Maybe no. Okay. So, but that is inverse kinetics to the best of our abilities. So now I know for this side, if I go G, Z, you can see how it moves the arm. So you can move it down, and then your elbow just kind of rotates the arm and stuff. So like if I need it to balloon, I can, like, it looks like I can do that. And then going into project mode, I can turn back on textured so you can kind of see what it looks like. Again, you want to make sure that this has color on it. The bones will not, but that will. So that is your bones and your inverse kinetics. This, yes, was a long video, but it was all done in one shot. So that's how you create the character to have the bones and the inverse kinetics so it can walk. Next video is getting it to do a walk cycle.